Welcome to Understanding the World. Today, we're diving into one of the most mysterious and powerful places on Earth, Vatican City. You've heard of the Pope, the Sistine Chapel, and maybe even the Swiss Guard. But did you know the Vatican wasn't always here? Or that it only officially became a country in 1929? Or that it once had its own army and prison system? Let's uncover the untold history of the Vatican, the smallest country with the biggest influence. The story of the Vatican starts not with a state, but with a martyrdom. Around 64 AD, during the reign of Emperor Nero, St. Peter, one of Jesus' apostles, was crucified upside down in Rome. According to tradition, he was buried on Vatican Hill, just outside the city walls. A few centuries later, Christianity, once persecuted, became accepted. In the early 4th century, Emperor Constantine the Great, Rome's first Christian emperor, ordered the construction of a grand basilica over Peter's tomb. This would be the old St. Peter's Basilica, the spiritual heart of what would one day become Vatican City. This hill, once a burial ground and circus arena, became the center of a global faith. As the Roman Empire fell in the West, the Bishop of Rome, or Pope, gained both spiritual and political authority. By the 8th century, the papacy controlled vast territories known as the Papal States, covering much of central Italy. In 756 AD, the donation of Papal, granted by the Frankish king Pepin the Short, officially gave the Pope control over this land. The Pope became a king in everything but name, leading armies, making laws, and even minting coins. By the Middle Ages, the Vatican was not just a religious capital, it was a major political player in Europe. The Renaissance marked a golden age for the Vatican. The popes of the 15th and 16th centuries became patrons of the arts, commissioning works from Michelangelo, Raphael, and Bramante. The result? Masterpieces like the Sistine Chapel, the Vatican Museums, and the new St. Peter's Basilica, which replaced Constantine's original. But this era wasn't just about beauty, it was also filled with corruption, nepotism, and ruthless politics. Some popes lived like emperors, threw wild parties and waged wars. The infamous Pope Alexander VI of the Borgia family was rumored to have murdered rivals and hosted orgies inside the Vatican walls. It's no surprise that this period sparked the Protestant Reformation and triggered centuries of religious conflict. The 19th century was a turning point. As nationalism rose in Europe, Italy began unifying. The Papal States, which had lasted over 1,000 years, were gradually taken over. In 1870, Italian troops marched into Rome and annexed it. Pope Pius IX refused to recognize the new Italian kingdom. For the next 59 years, the Pope remained inside the Vatican, calling himself a prisoner. Vatican territory shrank to just a few buildings, and the Catholic Church lost its political power. But the Church had a secret weapon: diplomacy. In 1929, an unlikely agreement was made. Fascist leader Benito Mussolini and Pope Pius XI signed the Lateran Treaty, creating Vatican City as a sovereign state. The Catholic Church regained its independence, but gave up its claim to Italian territory. The Vatican became its own country, the smallest in the world, just 44 hectares or 110 acres with fewer than 1,000 citizens. It had its own flag, anthem, passport, postal system, and even a small army, the colorful Swiss Guard. In the 20th and 21st centuries, the Vatican became a global force, not through war or territory but through diplomacy, doctrine, and media. Under Pope John Paul II, it played a role in the fall of communism in Eastern Europe. Under Pope Francis, it has championed issues like climate change, poverty, and interfaith dialogue. Yet the Vatican has also faced crises, most notably the clergy abuse scandals, which have shaken the Church and its credibility worldwide. Despite the controversies, Vatican City remains a symbol of continuity, tradition, and spiritual authority. The Vatican archives are said to contain over 50 miles of shelving with documents dating back over 1,000 years. Access is extremely limited. It prints its own euro coins, which are highly collectible. It has no prisons, only holding cells. Major crimes are handled by Italian law enforcement. There's a private railway station mainly used for freight and ceremonial visits. The Vatican Observatory, one of the world's oldest astronomical institutions, shows the Church's interest in science. And here's a strange one. ATMs in the Vatican offer Latin as a language option. From a humble hill where a martyr was buried, to a Renaissance powerhouse, to a modern microstate, the history of the Vatican is anything but small. It's a place where faith meets politics, where art meets secrecy, and where 1 square kilometer holds centuries of human history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know what surprised you the most about Vatican City. Thanks for watching Understanding the World.